We will be narrating the 2017 film Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets in this video. In the future, humanity forged alliances with numerous alien species, but one of these alliances proved too dangerous. Over several centuries, humanity continued to strengthen its relationships with various extraterrestrial civilizations. However, by the 28th century, the mass of the intergalactic station Alpha orbiting Earth became unstable, threatening Earth's gravitational balance. The government decided to send the old International Space Station to the Magellan Expanse. Now, the massive Alpha Station, home to beings from thousands of planets, ventures into uncharted space, carrying the ideals of peace and unity to the farthest reaches of the universe. 4 centuries after Alpha's journey, the Pearls, inhabitants of the distant planet Mo, still haven't contacted other races. They live in harmony with nature, harvesting powerful energy pearls, which they return to the land to maintain balance. With the help of creatures called converters, they replicate up to 100 pearls from a single one. But one day, missiles and burning debris rain down on Mo, followed by a massive spaceship crashing onto the planet. The destruction is swift and total. However, a group of pearls, led by Emperor Haben Lemai, manages to find shelter inside one of the crashed ships. Tragically, the door malfunctions, trapping them inside and leaving Princess Lihom outside. Realizing the end is near, Lihom sends a powerful energy signal into space before Mo's surface is obliterated. Meanwhile, Major Valerian and Sergeant Laureline, agents of Alpha's Special Police Unit, tasked with maintaining galactic order, are en route to their next mission. Just before landing on their target planet, Valerian receives Lihom's signal and wakes up, startled by what he dismisses as a strange dream. He continues his attempt to woo Laureline, calling her perfect and insisting he doesn't need anyone else. But Laureline is cautious, put off by Valerian's flirtatious nature, knowing he rarely misses a chance with a pretty girl. As they prepare for landing, Valerian recalls the dream and asks the ship's AI, Alex, to analyze his brain activity. Alex detects heightened neural activity and external wave interference, suggesting the signal could have come from the past or future, from anywhere in the universe. Soon after, Valerian and Laureline land on the sandy planet, and the Minister of Defense contacts them. He reminds them of their mission, to capture the last remaining converter from planet Mo and deliver it to Alpha. Valerian and Laureline, disguised as tourists, disembark from their ship to meet Captain Gibson and his team, who are assigned to assist with their mission. As they head towards the Great Market, Gibson briefs Valerian on his task, to locate the shop of a suspect believed to possess the converter, and to team up with Sergeant Cooper. Meanwhile, Laureline will wait at the rendezvous point. They'll only have a 10-second window to secure the converter. Before entering the market, Valerian proposes to Laureline, insisting he's ready for a serious relationship. Laureline, however, doesn't take him seriously and playfully sends him off with a kiss on the cheek. The Great Market exists in another dimension, so to enter, they must wear special helmets and gloves, passing through unique gates. Valerian blends in with a group of tourists, but quickly falls behind, sneaking into a restricted area. There, he locates the suspect's shop and reports it to Gibson. He then meets Sergeant Cooper, who equips him with special glasses, a weapon, and a transbox, a device that allows objects to be transported between dimensions. Cooper also scans Valerian, making him invisible to the market's inhabitants. Inside the shop, the alien Egon Kuss is negotiating with 2 humanoids from planet Mo, eager to acquire the last remaining converter. Egon hesitates to sell such a valuable item and asks what they can offer in return. One of the humanoids presents a pearl, promising Egon could have 100 more if he agrees to the deal. Realizing the converter could make him even wealthier, Egon refuses to sell it. Tensions rise, and both sides draw their weapons. At that moment, Valerian, who has been secretly observing the exchange, reveals himself. He aims his weapon at Egon and demands that the converter be placed in the transbox. Laureline reunites with Valerian at the rendezvous point after sneaking into the market with the help of soldiers who had incapacitated a guard in the watchtower using specialized weapons. Egon complies with Valerian's demands, placing the converter into the transbox, which Laureline immediately retrieves back in their usual dimension. With the mission completed, Gibson orders them to return. However, Valerian decides to linger a bit longer to grab the pearl as well. Unfortunately, he lowers his weapon too much, and an alien dog lunges at his arm. Valerian fires wildly, causing chaos as everyone else starts returning fire. Cooper comes to his aid, but he too is attacked by the alien dog. Valerian escapes into the market, but since his hand is visible, he's quickly declared a wanted man. Laureline urges him to return, but the control panel is damaged, preventing him from leaving the other dimension. To make matters worse, Valerian's invisibility is fading, making it easy for an alien guard to spot him. The guard shoots metallic spheres at the device on Valerian's hand, making it so heavy that he falls through the ground. Valerian lands in a casino, drawing the attention of an alien child armed with a toy gun that shoots bubblegum. The guard catches up to him, but thinking quickly, Valerian grabs one of the metallic spheres and convinces the child to shoot the guard with the bubblegum. The remaining spheres are magnetically drawn to the first, causing the guard to fall through the floor. Valerian manages to get up and escape, but not before frustrating the child by sticking gum on their forehead, which angers the child's mother. Now, Valerian is being chased by her as well. Fortunately, Valerian bumps into Laureline, who helps him remove the heavy device from his hand just before the guards and their dog catch up. They manage to return to their normal dimension, narrowly avoiding capture. After the chaotic chase, Valerian realizes the magical pearl somehow made it into their dimension. But Igon isn't ready to give up. He sends a massive alien creature after them. Valerian, Laureline, and the soldiers make a run for a bus, which transforms into an armored vehicle as they flee. As the team heads back to their ship, they fend off the creature using various weapons, but it relentlessly pursues them. The creature manages to latch onto their vehicle and break inside. Fortunately, with the help of the soldiers, Valerian and Laureline make it back to their ship, along with the invaluable converter. As the agents settle into their seats, the ship's AI, Alex, alerts them that the massive creature has boarded the craft. However, as the ship accelerates into EX space, the creature loses its grip and perishes. Soon after, Laureline checks on the frightened converter. She gently calms the small creature and places it in a healing capsule enriched with uranium to help restore its unique abilities. Meanwhile, Valerian asks Alex to analyze the pearl. The AI reports that the pearl contains 10 times more energy than their ship and reveals that it originates from the planet Mo, which has been destroyed for 30 years. Valerian wants to learn more about the planet, but the information is classified and only accessible to the government. Laureline joins Valerian, and once again, he brings up his proposal to marry her. However, she continues to brush him off. Upon returning to Alpha, the agents are informed that they've been promoted for successfully completing their mission. They then meet with General Odobar, who briefs them on a new mission. A year ago, a radioactive zone was discovered in the center of the station. Probes and special forces were sent in, but nothing and no one returned. The air in the zone is unbreathable, and it continues to expand. Commander Aaron Fett joins the briefing, stressing the urgency of discovering who might be behind this threat, as Alpha could be destroyed within a week if no action is taken. Fett contacts the Minister of Defense, who informs him that Valerian and Laureline will be responsible for his protection during an upcoming Security Council meeting with representatives from various species. Despite this, Fett insists that his Charon robots are sufficient for the job. The minister, however, overrules him, leaving it clear that Fett is unhappy with the decision. Before heading to the Security Council meeting, Fett visits a captured Pearl who is being tortured for information. When no progress is made, Fett orders the prisoner to be executed if no information is extracted within the hour. He also reminds his Charon robots of their instructions in case the operation doesn't go as planned and prepares for the upcoming meeting. Shortly after, Valerian and Laureline arrive in protective suits, with Laureline carrying the converter, as Fett intends to use it as leverage in a potential deal. However, the agents refuse to hand over the converter, insisting it's safer in Laureline's care while she waits outside the meeting room. Reluctantly, Fett agrees and steps out to address the gathered delegates from various species. As Fett delivers his speech about the contaminated zone, Laureline is approached by 3 aliens known as the Dondice, infamous for trading valuable information. Laureline contacts Valerian, who asks her to inquire about Mo. The Dondice reveal that a year ago, Major Samk, an expert on the planet, was killed. They also warn that mercenaries are already hunting for the converter. At that moment, an alarm goes off. The lights in the meeting hall go out, the doors lock, and a group of Pearls enters. They immobilize everyone using a sticky substance and abduct Fett. Valerian, using a spider-like robot hidden in his mouth, frees himself from the sticky cocoon. He then frees Laureline, hands her a knife to help the others, and instructs her to monitor the Pearls from the control center. Valerian decides to follow the Pearls to track down Fett. Guided by Laureline, he navigates through various spaces, breaking through walls with his special suit, and soon reaches the Pearl's ship. Alex picks up Valerian, and a high-speed chase begins. Valerian fires at the enemy ship, but it suddenly splits into several smaller ships. Laureline quickly identifies which one likely contains Fillet, and Valerian pursues. Realizing his ship is too large, he transfers to a smaller fighter to navigate through the dangerous zone. As he gets closer, Laureline urges him to catch up to the Pearls before they lose communication. Valerian manages to latch onto the Pearl ship with a grappling hook, but this causes him to lose control of his fighter, and he enters the zone, leaving his fate uncertain. Determined to rescue him, Laureline prepares to enter the zone herself, but General Barr forbids her, claiming the area is under enemy control. Laureline questions this, wondering why the Pearls left them alive if they were truly enemies, and what the surviving Pearls from Mo want with the station. Resolute in finding the truth and saving Valerian, Laureline defies Barr's orders. Barr, however, is firm and orders guards to watch her. Laureline outsmarts the guards, escapes with their weapons, and tracks down the Doandace, forcing them at gunpoint to help her locate Valerian. Meanwhile, General Barr attempts to access more information about Mo, only to discover, to his surprise, that he doesn't have clearance for the data. The Doandace lead Laureline to a pirate named Bob, who hunts rare brain jellyfish. Bob invites them aboard his submarine, showing them massive creatures called Brosaurus, which host the jellyfish. Using the submarine's claws, Bob captures one of the jellyfish, but a Brosaurus notices, and along with two others, begins chasing them. Luckily, Bob manages to evade the pursuing creatures by navigating through a narrow tunnel. Once they return to solid ground, the Doandace explain to Laureline that she needs to mentally project an image of Valerian into the brain jellyfish. Placing it on her head will show her where to find him, but she must only keep it on for a minute, or it will drain her memories. Laureline follows their instructions, and memories of Valerian flash before her eyes. She exceeds the time limit by 10 seconds, but manages to retain her memories and sees the message L630 deactivated. After removing the jellyfish, she asks the Doandace what the message means. They explain that it refers to level 630 in the east, the location where she can find Valerian. Determined, Laureline sets off to find him, while the Doandace, hoping for a reward, report to General Barr about a Pearl captive held by Fett. Enraged, Barr arrests everyone involved in the torture and assures the Pearl that he will be treated properly. The Pearl asks for help, mentioning that Alpha holds what they need, and releases a surge of energy similar to what Lomina did. Soon after, Laureline arrives at level 630 and finds Valerian unconscious among the rocks. She administers a special medicine, and he regains consciousness. Eager to resume the search for Fett, Valerian upsets Laureline by not thanking her for saving him. As he repairs his fighter, he explains that in his dream, the Pearls had the same converter as they do. Laureline realizes that the Pearls are now trying to capture the last creature from their home planet, and that they kidnapped Fett, thinking he had the converter, but now they're after her. While they discuss this, Laureline becomes distracted by some glowing butterflies, one of which lands on her hand. She marvels at its beauty, but Valerian warns her that some butterflies are traps. Just then, the butterfly turns into a hook, and Laureline is captured by members of the primitive Bulan Bathers tribe from the planet Gora. Valerian doesn't hesitate to rescue her. He leaps off a cliff and deliberately grabs a lure butterfly, allowing the aliens to capture him as well. Valerian manages to escape captivity by shooting his captor. He takes cover behind a wall and contacts Alex, who advises him to find a glamapod to infiltrate the Bulan Bathers' territory without being detected. Meanwhile, General Barr discovers that the Pearl's DNA doesn't match any known species in the database, suggesting it is either a new, unregistered species or that information about it has been deliberately erased. Barr is then informed that Valerian has exited the danger zone and can now be tracked again. He orders all posts to be notified, instructing the guards not to harm him. Valerian takes advantage of a guard's moment of vulnerability, steals an invisibility weapon, and freezes the guard with his gun. He soon finds himself at Paradise Alley, a bustling area with hundreds of call girls. He heads to the Glam Club, where he asks the pimp, Jolly, to help him find a glamapod. Jolly leads him to a performance by Bubble, a shape-shifting artist who can take many forms. Valerian shoots Jolly and makes a deal with Bubble, an illegal immigrant, offering her freedom and documents in exchange for her help. Bubble agrees and carries Valerian out of the club in her jelly-like form, while transforming herself to look like Jolly. She then disguises herself as a Bulan Bather and transports Valerian into their territory. General Barr learns that Valerian has been seen with the Bulan Bathers, a place no one has ever entered or escaped from. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Barr calls for reinforcements and informs the minister. Meanwhile, the Bulan Bathers are holding a grand feast where hundreds of beings offer dishes to their emperor, but none satisfy him. Eventually, they present Laureline, finely dressed and wearing a large hat with a hole in it. She unknowingly becomes the next dish as the emperor sprays lemon juice on her head and prepares a special tool. Just as he is about to act, Laureline breaks free and Valerian reveals himself. Chaos erupts as Valerian fights off the Bulan Bathers in his true form, while Bubble, in her jelly-like form, assists them. However, the trio soon faces an entire army of aggressive beings. In a clever move, Bubble hides Valerian and Laureline inside her body and sneaks them through a hatch in the floor. They escape into a junkyard, but Bubble is seriously injured in the process. In her final moments, she tells Valerian that he's the best actor she's ever seen and asks him to take care of Laureline. Meanwhile, General Barr contacts the defense minister, who puts him in charge of the mission. In return, Barr demands access to all classified files on Fett. The minister reluctantly agrees, and Barr uncovers the truth, that the planet Mo was accidentally destroyed during the war. The planet was supposedly uninhabited, but when he requested information about the leader of the military operation, he was once again denied access, raising his concerns. To make matters worse, Fett's Krons are monitoring his every move and won't deactivate without a direct order from their master. As Valerian and Laureline search for a way out of the unfamiliar terrain, Valerian confesses that he feels as though Leoma's spirit is guiding them in the right direction. They soon enter what is called a contaminated zone, but quickly realize they've been deceived. There is no actual danger. Approaching a glowing wall, a pearl emerges and invites them to meet the Emperor. Passing through a portal, they find themselves aboard a massive spaceship, where they are greeted by Emperor Haban and his wife, Aloy. The Emperor explains that when a pearl departs, they transform their energy into a wave that travels through space and time to find a suitable host. Their daughter, Leomina, chose Valerian to be the guardian of her soul. The Emperor reveals that their paradise on Mo was destroyed by a war between two unknown peoples. A massive explosion killed around 6 million pearls, leaving the survivors adrift in space for years on a partially destroyed ship, where they studied various sciences using the ship's databanks. Eventually, they were discovered by scrap collectors who took them to Alpha, the largest construction site in the universe. There, the pearls lived in secret, learning from other species and gradually gathering the knowledge and materials to build their own ship. However, they lacked a converter and a single pearl to activate it. They nearly obtained these items, but their plans were thwarted by the agents. Now, the pearls believe that Valerian and Laureline will make the right decision. They revive Fett, who immediately orders the agents to arrest the pearls. He insists that Mo was uninhabited, but the agents quickly uncover the truth. Fett had ignored reports of an advanced race on the planet and sacrificed it for a military victory. Upon learning that the surviving pearls were on Alpha, he erased any evidence of his mistake, rather than taking responsibility. He even got rid of Major Sam, who knew about his crime, and fabricated the legend of the contaminated zone. Fett eventually admits to the truth, but defends his actions by claiming that his duty was to protect humanity, which would have suffered if the truth had been revealed. Valerian is then ordered to arrest Haban, but Haban strikes Fett in the face and hands the pearl over to the Emperor. Laureline is prepared to give up the converter as well, but Valerian hesitates, citing that it is government property and he has to follow protocol. Frustrated, Laureline accuses him of being heartless and reminds him this is why she doesn't want to marry him. Eventually, Valerian agrees to return the converter to the pearls, and in gratitude, Laureline kisses him. Haban then uses the converter, which produces countless pearls and generates a massive amount of energy. This energy powers their ship and creates a hologram of their home planet's landscape. Haban releases Valerian from Leomina's soul and wishes them peace. Meanwhile, Special Forces and Fett's Krons are approaching the portal. General Barr gives them 4 minutes to evacuate before the area is destroyed. The pearls, intending no harm, step outside to face the hundreds of soldiers surrounding their ship. At the same time, Valerian and Laureline contact General Barr, revealing the truth about the Pearl genocide and urging him to call off the assault. Barr believes them and halts the countdown, but he needs Fett's personal confirmation to cancel the operation. Fett, unwilling to face the humiliation, orders his Krons to destroy the pearls, the soldiers, and even the commanders in the control center. the robots begin firing indiscriminately and restart the timer. In a moment of fury, Laureline strikes Fett, while Valerian rushes to help the Pearls and the soldiers. Bar orders Sergeant Neza to stop the timer despite the chaos. Neza reaches the control panel and disables the countdown just seconds before the explosion. At that moment, the Pearls successfully leave Alpha aboard their new ship. The surviving soldiers capture Fett, and Bar orders his arrest. Valerian and Laureline escape using the same module the Pearls arrived in. Once again, Valerian asks Laureline to marry him, and this time she hints that it might be possible, followed by a kiss. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment.